My name is Alex Coburn. I'm an anthropologist, safari guide, and wilderness explorer. With a habit for getting into some unusual situations.
Crashing bar, Jeff?
Yeah, sure.
I've never been more uncomfortable in my life.
I wish I was somewhere warm. Fueled by a passion for wildlife, I search the world for conservation solutions. Because if you don't believe in climate change,
Best of luck to you.
it smells earthy and grassy. And on this adventure, you're part of the team too.
I'm not even gonna finish sure. I'm just gonna shovel this in my mouth.
It's so green and lush. Sabona peppers?
What the hell is happening?
This is nuts!
So let's go save the world. Underneath the liberal facade of San Francisco is a history the city likely wants you to forget because it's dark history, troubling history, racist history, and confronting the past is uncomfortable. But if tigers symbolize bravery, then I can't picture a more perfect comparison to Chinatown.
What do you know of the history of San Francisco, Jeff?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing?
Yeah, not much.
San Francisco, of course, St. Francis, if you're into the whole Catholic thing. If you're into the whole Catholic thing, just throwing that out there. No, the Spanish were the first to seriously settle this, and they called it yerba buena, good herb. And I don't know the herb that they were referencing. Today, the good herb might be something else. I think the kids call it the devil lettuce.
Sin spinach.
Sin spinach.
Jazz cabbage.
Jazz cabbage. The old razzle-dazzle pickle. But more or less, this has always been a place of merging. I think it's one of the most American cities in America, to be honest. Because it's a city with one common goal: capitalism, expansion, personal wealth. People first came here because of the belief that they could grow their empire, grow their own campaigns, and establish themselves in a new world, which is a story that we're all kind of familiar with today in terms of corporate greed. And I mean, just look at look at these massive, ridiculous corporate buildings. But the common denominator here has always been about finding your own personal fortune, expanding yourself. And if you look just up that way, that's where we're headed, Chinatown. I think it's the perfect place to get into the story of San Francisco. There's no traffic. Let's go. And the audio cut out. The whole stage here is set middle of the California gold rush. People coming from all over the world to dig up minerals out of the ground and gain wealth. Of course, you can't talk about this without getting into the idea of racism ultimately, that Chinese were heavily hated by all of the white settlers, all of the white pioneers who were gathering gold, all the white gold miners. So this was kind of a troublesome area for a lot of people because it was uncomfortable. There was a lot of cultural tension until 1906, when an earthquake completely leveled basically all of downtown San Francisco. First, in about 45 seconds, all the buildings got pretty fucked up and then burned down over the course of the next day, including all of Chinatown. So what you see here was all built after 1906. Look Tin Eli was a wealthy business owner here in Chinatown who ultimately paid off. We'll kind of look at that as we go, but Marcel, I know, is looking for Africa in Chinatown. You're in luck, buddy. Let's go find it.
We got a surprise for you, sir.
So I was kind of surprised. We came through earlier, and my memory of Chinatown is always very lively, very active, lots of shops, lots of markets. And when we came through earlier, we couldn't help but notice a lot of it has been boarded up, kind of quiet.
To say there was a lot of open markets, but a lot of them are closed now, which is super weird.
Yeah, definitely. The vibe has shifted. You know, COVID's obviously done some damage here, and it relates back to one of the main themes of today, which is history and the idea that it kind of repeats itself. And again, unfortunately, this area started very turbulently, heavy racism. You had in California the Chinese Exclusion Act, which was passed, I want to say 1850s at some point, not lifted till 1943, middle of World War II. And this basically limited what options were available for work or for basic rights, citizenship. Very clever. After the '06 earthquake, again, city here is leveled, nothing's left, it's complete destruction and ruin. Most of the residents realized that all the records for who was a legal citizen or ancestry had been destroyed. So they just claimed they were US citizens, and the government had no way to verify, so said, sure, that works. Welcome to America. All right, this is the classic right here. This is the image everybody remembers. I can remember being in 4th grade. Was it 4th grade? Pretty sure it was 4th grade. Might have been younger, actually. And we came here on a school field trip, and we were all broken into small groups and exploring Chinatown. This hasn't changed at all. It is exactly the same. And again, it's intended to be that way. Anyway, I remember coming around here, it's the exact same. Going to the fortune cookie factory, which is an American creation. The guy having fun with us and throwing fortune cookies at little kids' faces. Doesn't that sound like fun?
That sounds fun to me.
That guy knows how to live. Everywhere you look is just rich in color, rich in vibrance. I think this is one of the most lively parts of the city. And the fact that we're right next to the financial district is hilarious. When they tried to rebuild this, you bet your boots the folks who were managing the financial district pushed hard to just clear this out and move it to a less desirable part of town. But the leaders of the community at the time dug their heels in and said, no, this is our home. We're going to build here, and built this whole set of facades that you see now, which is tremendous. But again, I mean, just look at all the styling. Let's get up closer. Stylings and details. One of the things I think I most appreciate about it is that it feels a little more in line with nature. Rounded corners, aesthetics that sweep into the next. Whereas, I don't know, if you look just that way quickly, there's the financial district. Very angular, very boxy, and we've removed ourselves from any semblance of what feels natural. This feels a lot more organic to me.
The camera doesn't do any of this justice.
No, not at all.
Something to definitely see in person.
I feel out of my element, though. I mean, first off, look at me. I'm carrying around a
Field
camera that
khaki.
weighs 10 pounds, field khaki. This is definitely not where I would normally be. I want to be out in a truck somewhere, driving around in the bush, but it's nice to come and be in a setting that feels completely alien and foreign. It just, any big city for me feels that way. It's deliberately uncomfortable. But yeah, the juxtaposition is great, because corporate suits, angular, that's the world that, for all intent and purpose, we call the first world. You've seen both sides of life. What about that is first world? We've removed all that is natural.
Yeah.
Even here, just take a quick peek. Look at just the life and the color. There is an unmistakable energy here that can't be beat. Because, I mean, again, just quickly, there's the Transcom building. Straight lines, suits. I mean, look at just, there's a life here that, I don't know, you can't match. I think this sign in the alley is really quite beautiful, because it illustrates how clever humans are. And I don't know about you guys, but this kind of thing is what makes me not afraid for the future, because I think, yes, we are doing terrible things to our planet and to each other. However, alleyways in Chinatown were created during the early settlement of the Chinese in the 1870s, when the community was basically confined to a 6-block area within San Francisco. So to make more space and to maximize what they had, the community members began to use alleyways as streetways, pedestrian ways, and as extra shops. And I think it just really demonstrates how clever humans can be and how we continue to think of solutions. So often we focus on the negative side of conservation, right? Like tigers today, we could talk about how awful, obviously, it is to lose a species of animals. However, the ingenuity that are the human brain, I think, again, in the signage here explaining what the alley represents, gives me a lot of hope. Here it is. Oh my gosh, I haven't been here since I was in 2nd grade, 4th grade, the fortune cookie factory.
Yes.
God, the smell in here is amazing.
It's so good. Whoa, they do like coated ones.
I've never seen a dipped one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Excuse me, do you guys take card or just cash?
$10 minimum.
$10 minimum, perfect. All right, let's get some. We have to.
We have to.
I think we should go for the coin rounds.
Do you want some, babe?
Try one. Oh, thank you. It's hot straight out of the...
Well, thank you.
Excuse me, sorry.
Thank you, thank you.
How long has the shop been here? Long time? Wow, this smells amazing. Come on.
That's pretty hard to beat. Nice, warm, fresh.
Light and airy. Buttery.
I'm sorry, I'm just distracted by all the colors of the lanterns over there.
It's beautiful. All right, gang, big grand finale here. We're gonna go find a tiger. There's this cool set of tigers spread through the city. They're an art installation to celebrate the Lunar New Year, the year of the tiger coming up. What are there, like 6 or 8 of them?
6, I think.
6?
Yeah.
This is kind of like, I think, the pinnacle installation. It's the red and gold. It's just vibrant. And again, look at where we are, juxtaposed against the financial district.
There it is.
The fact that Chinatown is right here is really cool. When you really stop to think about it, I mean, to think of the deep, dark history that is California, that is San Francisco, to have this here staring down the most wealthy people in California historically, that's amazing that this has survived and continues to thrive.
There's an unmistakable life and energy in Chinatown, which is remarkable when you consider the history. Much like tigers, this community has been othered all too often, yet still muscles through with bravery and courage. And when you think about it, the wild jungle habitat for tigers is also a kind of community. And every community member is necessary to the greater ecosystem. If ever there were a symbol tied to Chinatown, the tiger would be that emblem. Though faced with extinction, they continue to be a vital part of their home. Check out these groups to support the people who dedicate their lives to the protection of tigers.